What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Fantasy Flex podcast from the Action Network and Fantasy Labs. I'm your host, Chris Raybon. On to week 3 in the NFL. Sean Koerner, one of the most accurate rankers in the biz. How's it going? How you feeling about making some cash game lineups this week?
Yeah, feeling good. And I know your thoughts on week 3 when it comes to projections, how tricky it is. And I agree. I still like it, though. I like having a couple of games of data. How do you think that applies to DFS, though? Do you think it's tougher? Do you think the market might be behind on how to analyze the data? How do you think week 3 is for DFS specifically?
I actually like it. That's a good question. I think I like it a lot more in DFS because that's where it's exploitable. When you're actually trying to do a median projection, just think of the difference between, 2 games. Now your median, there's no median. It's dead and even. Where if you had 3 games, you would have a whole 33%, sliver. Right. That could be a median. Whereas with 2 games, you could have 50% outlier. You don't know what you're getting into. But in DFS, because you have the ability to multi-enter contests and to go, target tail results that are, contrarian and things like that, you could exploit the kind of biases that come with having only seen 2 games. Brian Thomas, tough start right now when you look at his stat line after 2 weeks, or, things like that, where it could be completely different after 3. AJ Brown, guys like that. So, and their prices are coming down in DFS. So very exploitable in DFS. Good week to kind of get your go into some of those, bigger contests that you could just kind of put a bunch of entries in and just do a lot of different contrarian things and take advantage that way. But we'll still build our cash game lineups and kind of talk through everything. But great question. And we'll kind of keep that thread going as we build our Draftkings lineup and then our Fanduel lineup. But reminder, all of our fantasy football content is available right now over at fantasylabs.com. Fantasy Labs NFL includes in-season rankings, waiver wire tips, and more. We've also added a survivor pool tool to help you make informed picks. Kind of a weird survivor week too, week 3. So make sure you use code FLEX20, FLEX20 for $20 off at fantasylabs.com/flex. All right. We'll do a DraftKings lineup, go back and forth, each making a pick, and then we'll do the same thing on FanDuel. Koerner, start us off.
Yeah, so running back, there's a lot of options. You could spend up. I think Bijan, CMC, JT are all underpriced. And Jordan Mason is sticking out like a sore thumb. So I'll kind of wait to see how we approach that. But I'm going to just go straight to Jackson Smith-Njigba at 6,500. I said he's basically Amon-Ra St. Brown right now. So just treat him accordingly. He's 6,500. Massive floor and ceiling, but especially for cash games on DraftKings, a full point PPR, I think he's, a must play here at 6,500.
Yeah, and one more game probably puts him kind of in that price range that's a little out of reach, because then he's just going straight into the top tier. So yeah, this could be one of the last times you get him for such a discount. All right, JSN quarterback. You and I both kind of mentioned it pre-show. There's no one, I think that's a slam dunk at quarterback. So I think you just go with the cheapest option that is, that's been playing well and kind of showing that he's in that general group of top 12-ish startable guys, and that's Daniel Jones at 5,400 against Tennessee. Nothing imposing about the matchup. In my opinion, Jones has been getting carries near the goal line, which is what we want, and he's got a great supporting cast. So with guys like Bo Nix and Caleb Williams are more expensive, and I don't necessarily trust them any more than Jones at this point, given what we've seen early in the season. So I think he just kind of paid. I don't want to go all the way to Wentz. I think we got to see. Yeah,
it's worth mentioning though. Wentz is 4K min price, probably the best points per dollar projection. But are you going to say he's untrustable in cash games?
Yeah, I mean, I would just rather go with the guy that's averaging the most DraftKings points per game on the season on this slate in Daniel Jones. So we're gonna have to spend money somewhere. I don't really think because that's also been a trend this year where it's not like we're hurting for cash yet. We're not at that point where we have like bye weeks and they're just a limited kind of amount of guys, and you kind of have to build cash game lineups a certain way in terms of the structure with salaries and whatnot. There's a lot of different options. So yeah, I think we just kind of try to give ourselves a bit of a floor ceiling combo, and we don't really need to truly punt with a guy like Wentz who we just don't know, and it could be like McCarthy not being good, just kind of all right. Now we got a human being in Kevin O'Connell. He can't do it with everybody right away. So yeah, Daniel Jones. Famous last words though. Daniel Jones, man.
Yeah, no kidding. This is when he pulls the rug from under us. I'm gonna go to tight end here. Want your thoughts? I think the sweet spot is Tyler Warren at 4,400, or Tucker Kraft at 4,700. I think Trey McBride at 5,700 is also appealing, but I think this is a week to spend up at tight end, right?
Yeah, because like tight end is just such a. There's only so many guys that are going to give you any semblance of a floor, and with guys like Jones available and just affordable options elsewhere, I do think it's worth just trying to put some of that salary or putting your salary toward tight end, just like in the draft. So yeah, I mean, at this point, I think I'm even fine going McBride or Bowers, honestly, like just because we have to spend salary somewhere. So Kraft is probably. I would say he's more likely to be a victim of the 2-game thing than McBride.
Yeah,
I would say is at 5,700. Just feel like we've seen him just do it week in, week out because the Cardinals are really weird where they don't throw to Zay Jones. Marvin Harrison sometimes doesn't get thrown to, and Wilson. It's just very kind of targeted on McBride, and Bowers. It's a new system, so are we a little more worried about him after 2 weeks? Maybe not.
I think, Warren is probably the best at price, but you kind of mentioned it. There's so many weapons there. He could have a lower floor than we think, and we already have Daniel Jones, so we kind of already capture Warren in that. So I might want to hold off and see if we have enough to get McBride. So I'm just going to do it. I'm going to go to running back now. Sorry for the huge pivot there. I'm going to go Bijan Robinson at 7,900. I think we just have to spend up. He's my RB1. He's against the Panthers. Love him here. So I'm going to spend up here at running back.
So you're not concerned at all about the, I don't know if I call it a vulture, but I guess the Tyler Algier, like hammer, fourth quarter hammer, I guess you would call it.
No, I think that they both kind of have higher floors and higher ceilings. I mean, where are you projecting Bijan? I have him atop my DK projections, even with Algier taking a ton of work.
Yeah, I still have McCaffrey number 1, and I just feel like he'd be more guaranteed to like get higher leverage snaps than a guy like Bijan who wasn't on the field for the touchdown. So like, yeah, it's just something I kind of like. Yeah, he's obviously a top 2 back, but just something I thought I'd point out just because. I mean, again, I hate week 3, man. It's tough and like
okay.
There could be things that blindside you.
I have a pivot that we can kind of go either way from there. Jonathan Taylor at 7,200.
Love it. I feel a lot
because
more,
I think we could probably afford both these guys. Kind of looking at the scope of things, but let's go with Taylor. Just to have some wiggle room, I think he has just as high of a floor, and he's $700 cheaper. And I love McCaffrey too, but McCaffrey is the most expensive back. So I think Taylor and Bijan are kind of like really good values. But let's go Taylor and see what happens. I think we might have a lot of cash this week, so we'll see.
But now we're doing a road divisional 2-0 Colts stack as well. So that's
a high floor. That's a high floor start. I think that's a good cash game strategy, but I could see if you want to go against it. I'll let you pick then, Bijan or Taylor, but I'm forcing one of them in there.
Crazy how you didn't mention Saquon Barkley.
Yeah, he's we talked about that for 30 minutes.
I think the Eagles are gonna they're probably gonna lean on him because like the Rams front is like athletic but a little bit undersized. I'm not scared. I'm not really scared off about Barkley in this spot either. But he's what? I mean yeah. This is like the draft.
Okay, here we go. Here we go. Because I think at the end of the day, I think we're going to be able to afford possibly two of these guys. Okay. So I'm going to do this. I'm just going to go with my guy here. Rome Odunze, 5,300. I was going to do it anyway. But I'm going to go with Rome at 5,300. And then my next time around, I'll probably do the defense. But I'm trying to see how much money we have because I think this is kind of a weird week. I think there's some value plays out there, but a lot of the expensive guys I think are in play this week. So I like Rome at 5,300 anyway. So let's go with him.
I mean, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like there's so much value that we can be pretty picky. So, all right, Rome, JSN, and Daniel Jones so far, and that gives us, this is. So this is why I want to go trade McBride because like I feel like we got Roma Dunze at 5,300 for 4K, 400 more. We can essentially guarantee ourselves like a top 3 floor at tight end, right? Yeah, so I'm gonna roll McBride here.
I agree 100%. What are you gonna do? Save 2K to get someone like Dalton Schultz who might get 2 catches? Just you have to go like Trey McBride has one of the highest floors out of anybody. And 50 anytime he's under 6K, I think he's already in play. But this week specifically, I think he's even more valuable. So figured we'd go that route.
And then we can definitely afford it because we always have Mason in the back pocket. Even I know it's DK, but like he's gonna get the pass snaps too.
Mason, I think is probably the way to go, and then we'll figure it out from there. But for defense is kind of rough this week. Let's go with the Seahawks.
Where are they?
3,600. They're in the top tier. There's like 5 defenses. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Home favorite. Oh, yeah. Well, we have JSN, but I mean, that's a little bit of. I guess that doesn't. Nah, you just got to go with the best
still
defenses.
Getting if they're up, they're going to still pepper them with targets. Doesn't matter. But yeah, worth thinking about. But Seahawks at 3,600. So now we know we have like 5,900 per player left to spend with.
Ooh, so maybe it's a good thing we didn't go like.
Yeah. Well, that's why we got McBride, but I think we're still going to be getting studs rest of the way.
Okay, so I think we're going to have to take at least one cheap running back. So let's.
Yeah.
Do we feel Mason at 54 or Pollard at 57? Like, I don't think Pollard's guaranteed necessarily to get more catches in this spot, right? For the 300.
Yeah, they're kind of like Spider-Man meme pointing at himself. I think we got to go with Mason here.
Or both, but definitely Mason.
Yeah, maybe both
first.
Yeah, Mason, 5,400. Got to go that. But yeah, you're right. We might end up going Pollard too.
Because he would kind of make everything average out. Right now, we have 60-33, so about 6K per player, wide receiver flex, and running back remaining with Jones, Mason, Odunze, JSN, McBride, Seahawks.
So like wide receiver is kind of tricky up top, just because Puka has a tough matchup. Jefferson has Wentz throwing to him now. Lamb is interesting at 8K.
Isn't that gonna be too expensive though? Because we have 6K left. I think
that going cheaper at wide receiver makes the most. What are your thoughts on Keenan Allen against the Broncos though?
Nope, can't. I don't think that you can't do that. It's the Broncos,
he's like a price.
He could be the wide receiver 6 or the wide receiver 2. Yeah. Like they're too much. What do you call it? 4 wide receiver personnel. Like this. That's a 2-week trap. I feel like.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. And I think Debo's floor is even higher with Eckler out right now. against the Raiders. But everybody in this range seems pretty fairly priced.
That's not good because then it could be anyone.
Yeah, exactly.
So maybe we go running back. Maybe we just go.
What happens if we go Pollard?
Or how do you feel about do we get an update? Because I've been looking, I didn't see one yet on AJ Terrell for the Falcons. Because
that's a good question.
That could impact the Ted McMillan. But Drake London is 6K, but he finally cooled off, and J.C. Horn is there. So that only took 1 week.
Yeah, I forced Tet in our lineups last week. He's a little bit pricier this week. It's just kind of rough at wide receiver.
Yeah.
So what if we force Pollard? We could still get an elite running back in the flex, right? So
yeah,
what if we force Pollard here, and then we could potentially get a stud running back in our flex?
Yeah, I think the running back value is actually a good thing we didn't just settle on a guy we weren't completely sold on just to spend, because it's like I think McBride and this is just one of those weeks where the mid-range value stands out, like Jones 5,400, Mason 5,400, Pollard 5,700, Adunze 5,300, JSN 65, McBride 57, Seahawks pricing at 36, but still decent floor, home favorite. So now we know that we have 6,200 remaining. So who is the highest, the most expensive guy and the cheapest guy we would take at running back or receiver? Because we have a wide receiver and flex, so we could essentially look at it from that, like the range is, or we go in two guys, because we could get like 6,200. You could get Drake, London. You could and let's see, he would be 6, and so anyone under 6'4", so you can get like Drake, London, Alvin Kamara, like for example.
Yeah,
I don't want Alvin Kamara this week. Yeah, and then we can't go. I don't.
You have, like, for wide receiver, you have AJ Brown, Devontae Adams. Running back it's kind of Kamara, Javonte, kind of rough there. So probably want a cheaper wide receiver or a stud one to kind of.
I think we want cheap wide receiver and then pick.
Yeah. So which of those stud running backs do you like the most? You said Barkley, because I'm fine with any of these top 4, 5 guys.
I'm just thinking from a cash game standpoint, it feels like Barkley has, Taylor's probably the best value in terms of the snap rate. So it's just that him plus Jones could be.
Barkley makes it so that we would have 4,600. It kind of limits the wide receivers we can get quite a bit. So that's his problem. But if you were to go with who's the cheapest of that group, like Taylor or Bucky Irving. So let's see if we have, Taylor 5,200.
Taylor, who's Taylor? Wait. Oh, Taylor.
Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, I mean,
you'd have 5,200 left. That's Olave, Michael Pittman Jr., Juwan Jennings, who I don't even know if is healthy right now. But a couple more options. Not great.
Do we maybe because how confident are we that maybe we need to punt defense? Do we need to go with a cheaper defense and free salary that way?
Oh, I mean, who would we go with there? Like the Bengals against the Vikings? Because they're 2,400, or the Steelers are 2,800 against the Pats. Kind of sticking out.
I think we could go with we got to stay with the Seahawks just because they're a home favorite. They're the home favorite. I'd rather stay with them. All right. Let's see.
I think by Sunday something will open up. That makes it a little bit easier.
I think we just got to go with 2 guys in that 6K range. That's still where our highest floor ceiling combos are, and this is just that kind of week.
Yeah.
Because like Mason and Pollard are great, and Jones are great, and McBride are all great values in that 5K range. So I think we just fill it out with like Kamara's gonna catch passes. Tet I worry about just because contested catch guy. So I I guess Debo is kind of Debo's an option that he's getting now that he'll probably see an uptick in runs.
Yep, I was thinking Debo for cash makes a ton of sense, and then we can get Koerner.
Yeah, I think that's high floor. I mean, that's what we're looking for.
Against our defense, but that's kind of understood. He's just racking up catches because Rattler threw a pick 6 and got sacked 6 times, fumbled one for a touchdown. Got to dump it off to Koerner. I think that makes sense. Let's go with that. I think we arrived at probably what we should have.
Yeah, and I would say the only other option I would say, like, I don't think there's a big difference between a lot. There's just not, like, pricing wise, defenses don't stand out. So like, I think that's always an option if, like, let's say there's something happens later in the week and there's like, Kamara might get punished for the fumble or Debo, I don't know, something. But as of now, I think Debo more involvement in the run game and has been their top receiver. And then Kamara is a high reception running back at 6,300. I mean, he's getting 80% of the snaps. So I'm fine with that. I think that's the way to go. I think there's a lot in the mid range, and we could go down at tight end, but I do think the floor of McBride over even a guy like Kraft, as good as he's like, Kraft has really been a ceiling play through 2 weeks. Like we don't really know the true floor until we get 5-6 games in, which is why I think week 3 is so challenging. So I think Kamara, Debo right now is the way to go, and just punt defense if it gets dicey or you don't feel comfortable. But what's crazy though? Like if it was a week ago, we would probably call ourselves crazy for going Debo over Drake London, right? Are we kind of doing that week 3 thing too? Should we just, because like London's been a top 8 receiver every week until
I think when it comes to floor, we're not crazy by pivoting that way, because last week we didn't know Eckler would be done, and I think Eckler being done, Debo is already doing good, but I think with Eckler out, they're just gonna involve Debo even more, like you said, run game, quick passing game. So no, I don't think it's that crazy.
Okay.
I definitely think they're close, and London's still an elite receiver, but at Carolina again, if Bijan and Algier go nuts, that's going to limit his upside.
Yeah, well, and Horn has played well against. I think somebody asked us about Marvin last week, and it's like I don't know, like Horn's been good, and Marvin, I mean, maybe it's just on Marvin too, but I'm fine with that. But it's just one of those things. Like this is why you gotta, like, it's gonna be fun to look back on this, and we're gonna be like, oh my god, did we really do that? Or like, how do we not do this or something like that? Like, did we really just go with Daniel Jones over, like, I don't know?
Yeah,
like,
that's week 3 for you.
Yeah, man. No, but I think this is the way to build lineups. I do think like Mason and Pollard getting those like 85-90% projected snap rates. I think those guys are definitely key, and I do think that McBride under 6K with Bowers a little bit banged up or just like new offense also super valuable, and then you kind of build from there. So Jones, Mason, Pollard, Adunze, JSN, Debo, McBride, Kamara, Seahawks. That sounds like a pretty high floor lineup to me. All right. We'll get to FanDuel in just a moment, but just a reminder that to get the most out of the award-winning Action Network app, you want to be an Action Pro subscriber. Only Pro subscribers get real-time pick alerts from experts like Sean Koerner, Stuckey, myself, Jill Gallant, Nick Giffen, our entire Action Network squad. Plus, you can get access to our pro projections powered by Koerner and our predictive analytics team. And we've got a special offer. Just go to actionnetwork.com/pro and get $20 off the annual price with promo code POD20. That's POD20 for $20 off an annual sub to Action Pro. Don't miss out on the best bets at the best prices, visit actionnetwork.com/pro and use promo code POD20 for $20 off a year of Action Pro. All right, FanDuel. Let's see how this goes because it was a lot of decisions. I feel like this is probably one of our most decision-heavy back and forth weeks on DK. So let's see how it plays out on FanDuel. If I could find the app. Harder, or I shouldn't say harder, but the running backs are priced up a lot more. Like the stud running backs, you have Bijan at 9,500, and you would think of him more as a PPR, full PPR back, but he's up at 95, and CMC's 91. So DraftKings has priced running backs a little bit, easier to get in the lineup. I think we're gonna have to. It's the same deal here. Jordan Mason is 5,800. Yeah, that's a must play.
Yeah, I was going to go with
probably
Pollard as well, and especially this is half PPR, so they're even more valuable. All right, quarterback is a little bit different. Daniel Jones is priced up. Caleb Williams is not. Would you be comfortable playing Caleb Williams in a cash game lineup on FanDuel?
The way the slate is setting up, I want to say I would not be comfortable because it's Caleb Williams. But at Daniel Jones at 7,800 is, and then Jordan Love at 7,700, and then Daniels is questionable. Jalen Hurts showed like he has a floor. Baker Mayfield, we kind of expect like he's kind of doing just enough, but I don't know if we can rely on it. So it's ugly. I mean,
for all the chaos, Caleb still generates fantasy points. He's going to be running around. He actually, I mean, he threw 6 interceptions last year. I mean, he's not going to give us negative points like people think. 7,100 in what could be a shootout. Although Nick's on the under.
Yeah, I mean, this is not a great slate. I think in this situation with the pricing, I think you can just take it like there's no one that I feel like has a guaranteed high floor given these prices. Right. So, because and then Dak Prescott is kind of in no man's land. It's him in May at like 7,300. It's like, we'll just pay down for a guy in Caleb who we have ranked even higher. But I mean, how bad does Caleb have to be to get benched this year, you think? Because they did give that extension of Bagent. I just wonder if, Yeah,
I think Bagent's one of the better backups in the league. I think it would have to take a lot. And it would have to take a lot to bench Caleb. They got to give him time. They're going to get Burden more involved this week. Maybe that'll help Caleb's floor, giving, Burden screen passes or whatever they have planned for him. But I think, Ben Johnson's trying to figure it out with Caleb. So not shocked they've had a rocky start. But again, it's led to fantasy points, and that's all we care about when it comes to this.
Yeah,
so I put him in. Yeah. He's in. Yes, we have Caleb and Jordan Mason. Let's hope Caleb just, provides us, 15 plus points. And I think he has a high ceiling. We know that. So hopefully we get a ceiling game and it kind of makes up for everything. But I think at 7,100, he's definitely in playing cash.
Yeah. No, he can't. Daniel Jones is priced up. Like it's got to be Caleb, and there's no one really lower. So I don't mind that at all. Just looking through the receiver pricing, I kind of get a sense of what we want to do here. I think receiver, given that you do have Pollard as that second cheap running back, and touchdowns are more important at receiver, it makes probably a little. Puka's up at 9K, so he's kind of in that McCaffrey range. So actually, but London at 7,300, but then it's like I worry about J.C. Horn. AJ Brown's down to 7K with no Witherspoon, but are the Eagles ever going to throw? Do they need to? This is tough. I'm just going to go Pollard here and get the. I'm going to take the value. I got to take the value because you got to kind of let the, just be led to the right. To the right picks elsewhere.
He's a no-brainer for me too. So we have 6,800 to spend left. I'll do it again. making me do all the dirty work around here. I'll go with the defense. What do you think about the Jaguars? 3,300. They are facing the Texans and that offensive line. I think they're going to be able to get some sacks. Josh, no. Can't. Oh,
no,
man. All right, fine.
That sounds like famous last words. The Jaguars gave up 31 points and like millions of yards to like a Bengals offense that was driven by their backup for.
You were just talking up Browning not too long ago.
Yeah, but I'm saying like he wasn't.
Yeah,
he's sloppy when he has to come in just out of the blue. So I mean, I don't trust the Jaguars on defense yet. I don't think. I would. Yeah, no.
I don't trust the Jaguars defense, but I trust them to get pressure on Stroud. Josh Hines-Allen has 11 pressures and 0 sacks. Yeah, they're popping in my expected sacks model, Raybon. And the most important part is they're 3,300.
Okay, let's. Wait,
I gotta
look more.
Okay, the Vikings. I'm gonna pitch you on this. The Vikings are 4,200. They're facing Browning, but you know what? He's probably not gonna get sacked as much as Burrow. Okay, I'm gonna.
This is hilarious. Like,
all right,
I feel like all these defenses could get just freaking torched.
Screw it, Seahawks 4,800. I tried to come up with somebody else, but we're just gonna go with the Seahawks. I think
I would play. I would play the Falcons at 3,800 over any of those like lower priced.
Yeah.
So like if you want to spend down a little, like they're popping in my sack model.
Yeah, that's exactly. Again, it's Tuesday. I haven't had a chance to really get to everything. I think Falcons at 3,800. I already locked it in. Let's go.
Yeah,
I love that.
Let's take it. Because it's still a divisional matchup, and Bryce Young, he usually doesn't have these full games together, and it's not like it's indoors where I think they're more vulnerable. So yeah, I'd rather buy low. I think this is one of those weeks where there's not like a smash given the pricing. So yeah, I think it's good buy low spot on the Falcons because we're both kind of seeing that they could be just a completely different defense. Tight end is priced up here, so Bowers 7,400, McBride 7K. That makes it a little more interesting. But Warren is 56, so that stands out. And then Kraft is 65. So it seems like Warren is kind of the smash here, right?
Yeah,
5,600
smash.
Yeah,
I think Ferguson's sneaky, but Warren I think is the guy that we could trust the most. But I think Ferguson's in play as well. But Warren at 5,600.
Monsters like that's gonna be another. It's like Ferguson catches. It's one of those things where it's like we only had 2 weeks. Didn't this happen with our guy Friedman once, where Dak threw for remember that season he started with like 4 or 5 games with 8,000 passing yards. I think he got hurt that year, but it was just so hard to get the model to not break because there's still this like balancing act of like old versus new, weighting the old data versus the new. And it's like I feel like we're already at that point with the Cowboys because it's like in reality, Tyler Warren versus Jake Ferguson is like no contest athletically or like talent wise, but Jake Ferguson is just catching, he can catch 8 balls every week because of the way the pass volume is in Dallas. So, but yeah, I think we got to go Warren here. Again, buy low on a guy who could end up being that 7K guy pretty soon. We've seen 5 years of Ferguson. I don't think he's getting there.
Yeah, Warren's the way.
Staying there. Yeah.
Well,
all right.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna force him in this lineup too. We're gonna have a Caleb Williams Bears stack in a cash game, but I still love it. Roma Dunze 6,400. Boom! I already clicked it. Can't talk me out of it. He's too good.
I was going to ask you your thoughts on. We talked a lot about bad vibes. I'm not saying we use it. I don't want to use it. I'm just curious to see your thoughts on him because he strikes me as kind of like a bad vibes guy because him and Caleb are often not on the same page, and now we're seeing Rome blow up. We're seeing they still haven't kind of used Loveland and throw it into their full capability. So I just wonder, is he kind of the odd man out, or is he like primed to explode into like an Amon-Ra type of role?
I think that was definitely in his range of outcomes. It still is, but the odds of that have lowered significantly because, again, Rome is the centerpiece of the offense. He's the only thing working. And Ben Johnson's trying to figure out on the fly. He's basically building the ship while at sea right now. I think Rome is here to stay. I think that's going to be a constant. He's probably going to have to figure out how to get Loveland more involved going forward. But he already said they're trying to get Luther Burden the third more involved this week. And that's who I think is direct competition with DJ Moore. So I think that's going to come at DJ Moore's expense. Burden might end up being the Amon-Ra in this offense when all is said and done. But yeah, I agree. Bad vibes with DJ Moore. They're trying to figure him out. They put him in the backfield for a couple handoffs week 1. Caleb's giving him hospital balls. He doesn't look like he's happy. So I think he's going to bounce back at some point. But I think it's Rome for now. And then we're going to start to see him mix in Burden more. And then, I mean, he has to use Colson Loveland more going forward. It's just going to be tough for Moore to really command a ton of targets.
I don't know, because I just saw news that Deron Bland might be back. And remember what happened to AJ Brown in week 1, and then when he was ruled out, that's what kind of put me on like the Giants and Russell Wilson and like neighbors going off. But and then we also dealing with like the weather. I just wonder if maybe a Caleb Rome stack is too aggressive, given we have a lot of options.
It's too aggressive, but when Rome does clear 100 yards and a touchdown, I'm going to text you immediately.
It's going to be. I hate week 3.
It is going to be. Get used to it. Remember, the one advice I gave you is just make sure Nick Chubb is always over 5 yards per carry. You've given me some great advice. Just again, just assume Rome Odunze is going to be the man the rest of the way. But yeah, he's tied to Caleb Williams, so it seems dicey and stuff. But he is the man. But yeah, if the weather is a concern, Nick's on the under, so it's going to end 10-6 or whatever. So we probably don't want to invest too much in this game. I'm willing to back off him for now.
Oh, wait, let me just say this. I just because again, this is what I think is valuable to kind of for everyone, including myself, to kind of think about. I feel like Caleb Williams, Rome Odunze could be week 3's Bo Nix Courtland Sutton or something like that. You know what I mean? It's like, because when you only have like those X receivers, like because even Brian Thomas, I mean, and he moves around, but there's just always that possibility. We've seen it with AJ Brown. We see it with Marvin Harrison. It could happen to Tet this week. It's just, I think those extra receivers, like in those mid-tier, like you have to, for all that, I feel like we might as well just get like a guy like Abuka at 6,300. You know what I mean? Like I don't think there's like something putting us, like last week we would have probably just taken Sutton. I think we might have actually, and look what he did. So these guys are kind of like just interchangeable. I feel like you just got to kind of mitigate our risk. That's why I'm a little hesitant with the stack. I mean, even the Burrow stacks weren't working out for whatever reason.
Having a stack is rough. I'm just high on both guys, and wide receiver is kind of rough this week. So I'm gonna force JSN, and then he's 8K, half PPR, but he still provides plenty of upside on FanDuel. It's just a lot of these receivers. I think you'll see some of the values that stick out have lower floors. Like I think Terry McLaurin is offering value, but he's kind of boom bust right now. AJ Brown's super cheap right now, but how the hell can you trust him in cash? There's just a lot of guys that scare me off. So let's spend up. Puka's probably too expensive at 9K against the Eagles, but I think JSN 8K against the Saints is kind of the sweet spot for me. So let's go with him again.
Yeah, I rather a guy like that, him, Puka types, because there are some of the few guys that can give you a floor without catching a touchdown, which is also something to think about on FanDuel. Is like we need these touchdown type guys too, and like Rome Odunze has 3 touchdowns already this year. He had 3 all of last season. Just you know what I mean. So it's like you kind of have to buy the next guy in that range. I feel like if we're doing that. So
yeah. I mean, he was due, so I'm doubling down. But I take your point.
Like I would, like, I feel like with Sauce playing well, he'd be on Evans, right? Like more likely.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think that'd be the case.
Ibuka at 63. I'd rather take that as like a young talent, just given the court. Like Baker has somehow just been more trustable than Caleb. So I would rather just go with like a guy who could be JSN price in 2 weeks there, and then we don't have to stack Caleb. And
I think that he sticks out in that range. He's kind of interesting. People don't realize. I don't think he's had a target rate over 20% yet, which isn't good, but also unsustainable. So I think he could just see more targets going forward. So yeah, I like him at 6,300. That's kind of the range I was talking about. Was like Jacoby Myers is there, but you don't like that matchup. Keenan Allen's in that range. Tougher matchup against the Broncos, obviously. Just a lot of high floor guys have tough matchups this week. It's making it tricky, but Ibuka at 6,300 makes sense to me.
Like so because of the kind of interchangeability there. Let's see, how much do we have? I'm trying to see our average now. It is
86.
Yeah, 50. Right. So we can get 2 studs now.
Yeah.
So
I like it.
Essentially, it was always going to have to be that way. So unless there's a running back, a third running back we like that's cheaper, like in that Ibuka price range, which I'm looking, I don't think there's somebody like another Pollard or Mason. Then I think you would have to go one of those guys. But I would even say that given the pricing and that there's no one that stands out, like you just take your shot on a guy like AJ Brown should be. He usually is a lot more expensive, so like I don't mind a guy like that, but we don't need to do it in this case. And so because Ibuka's there, so but that would probably have been the next place I would have gone. So let's see, we're at
89, 86.50 left. Our flex will probably be a running back, right? So it still depends. Like if I go CeeDee Lamb at wide receiver, which I think is the best of the top guys, the other guys kind of have questions. Would give us 8,500, and that's holy shit, Jonathan Taylor. That might work out perfectly. We already got Warren. I don't think we want to go Warren Taylor either. No, I know. I was just saying a hypothetical. And then, or like if we spend up for I don't know what McCaffrey, I
actually think we should spend up. Yeah, we should because we already have Mason Pollard. So I think McCaffrey and we have 7,800. I don't like Nico Collins is in that range. I don't like. I like the matchup, but now I'm almost thinking should we double spend down at wide receiver and then like no. Yeah, this is
because that would involve taking like a Roma Dunze type, right? You're talking about like 6,400. I think this is setting up. I mean, we have Warren. So that makes it trickier with Taylor specifically, but I like McCaffrey and like Nico Collins. I think Nico Collins still has a pretty high floor. Yeah,
you're about to pick the Jaguars defense against the Texans offense. That Nico Collins Stroud needs time to get the ball downfield, so that's one where it's like in that mid because like so there's 7,800 for Collins and then 8,800 for Lamb, and I think that 1,000 is actually worth it there. So like this mid range is tricky at wide receiver, which that's what I was saying. Like maybe we should be spending up or down at receiver. So maybe we punt defense because Warren is too good of a value. We could go cheaper than the Falcons at defense too, I guess.
That was the whole reason I mentioned up the Jaguars. They're like min price,
but they're actually only 500 less. So even that doesn't seem like a great value.
The Texans defense going up Jaguars with all their issues on offense.
No, the Jaguars scored 26 and 27. They don't. I mean, like this. I don't think that's.
Well, if we want to spend down on defense, we're not getting the Seahawks. Okay, so
no. We got to. I'm
trying to figure. You tell me which one of these shit defenses.
Okay. No, I think we stay with the Falcons. I'm just trying to
figure
Falcons
out which... 3,800 was a great call. We got to just stick with that. We got to just decide which running back, wide receiver we want to spend up on. There's got to be a path here.
Maybe JSN's too expensive. Maybe we should be just doing 3 of those like a Doomsday priced wide receivers.
So it's
Hope
either
for
a
the best.
Doomsday
Just go
or
like McCaffrey,
Debo.
Barkley, Bijan, or something like that.
It's let's do this quickly.
Okay.
I'll let you decide between a Doomsday and Debo.
What are their price? Doomsday is
Odunze is 6,400, Debo's 6,700, or like Devontae Adams, but tough matchup. Again, all these guys have tough matchups. Okay, so now we have 9,300 left. So
McCaffrey,
yeah, McCaffrey, and then
Barkley,
well,
or
the problem is we need a third receiver. We just use McCaffrey in the flex. So we have 9,500 left for a wide receiver slot.
No, I'm saying, what if we? Yeah, now what if we just went with no cheap running back, went like McCaffrey, Barkley, Bijan, or something like that, and then just pick mid range, all three mid range wide receivers. Take out JSN and everybody.
We could try that
just
next
go
week.
With the Doomsday. Take out. All right. I'm getting ahead of myself. All right.
Yeah.
I'm just like doing what I'm like making a lineup now. Like I'm just like, all right.
Everybody's gonna have like something's gonna happen where it's gonna be obvious who to take later in the week. I bet some running back will pop up. But yeah, I think you can go. You can go any direction at running back because Mason and Pollard are so cheap and so good. It's easy to take them, but you're right. Maybe taking like a couple stud running backs, go even cheaper at receiver or tight end or defense. There's just a lot of paths you can take.
I just feel like like spending up at receiver is not really. It's not like putting us over the top. There's just like a lot of these. Yeah, I would have to. But yeah, so just wait. So what salary do we need to choose now? Like I like pop some guys out. So now I'm all.
So I have 9,300 per player. We have wide receiver and flex open.
Okay, so McCaffrey in the flex.
Yeah,
right?
McCaffrey in the flex, I think makes sense. So now we have a wide receiver, 9,500. But that's with Debo in there. That's the problem. I can go back to JSN.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back to JSN. And we have 8,200 for wide receiver, which again, it's like Nico and Mike Evans.
But what you said we had. But that's what I'm saying. Like, what if we just try to get Bijan and McCaffrey, and then or Lamb? How could we get Lamb in there?
How about that? Let's take Pollard out. Let's put McCaffrey in. So we have Mason and McCaffrey. We're splitting the baby.
Okay.
And we have JSN still. So now we have 7,100 for wide receiver and flex. I think that's probably better, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so wide receiver spend up or down to see what our flex is.
So Lamb would be how cheap would our? This is.
Lamb would be 5,500 for our flex.
No, it's too low. Okay, I think we go Nico. Probably still the safest.
Yeah,
Jaguars,
I think Nico, all things considered, is still
we probably have to.
High floor.
I feel like I'd probably have to look. There's probably I'm almost thinking like I would probably we probably just go. I don't know. Like that. That gap is just like a killer. But yeah, I think.
So that's 6,500 now for the flex. So depending what position you want. Running backs like DeAndre Swift and Jalen Warren. I think Jalen Warren's sneaky this week in cash games. No tight ends. And then wide receiver would be, Roma Dunze, Jacoby Myers.
We have Pollard in there or no?
No Pollard. It's Mason and McCaffrey.
But we could put him back, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Good call. There you go. Pollard.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah.
Hey, we figured it out. That actually worked out.
I feel like there's probably still something better we could do, but we're just dragging. So
definitely use the Fantasy Labs models using our projections to, get the optimal lineup Sunday morning with the highest floor guys. Would be one way to do it. But yeah, I think we arrived at a pretty good team.
All right, wait. So it's I'm just trying to Pollard.
$400 remaining.
Oh, so we could pay. Isn't that the defense you wanted anyway? Then
Oh
no, it isn't.
Nope.
Right?
Can't.
No. Okay, whatever. I got it. We got it. Okay, so it's Caleb Williams.
Yep.
7,100. we still got McCaffrey. It's McCaffrey powered Mason, right? That's the 3.
Yep.
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 Okay, and then Abuka, JSN, and who's the last wide receiver? Nico. Yeah, no, I think it's pretty solid. And there's wiggle room at wide receiver, probably at tight end too. And then the Falcons our defense, which I mean could kind of go up or down there, but yeah, I think this is a week where you have to kind of choose between those value backs, but you also kind of have enough money to just spend up at receiver too. So at running back too. So it's tough on FanDuel with the touchdowns coming into play. But yeah, I like this lineup. I think this is a pretty balanced lineup. High floor, high ceiling. Yep. All right. That is going to do it for Fantasy Flex DFS. All right, that's going to do it for the Fantasy Flex DFS episode, week number 3. Hopefully that back and forth helped you guys with some of your lineup decisions as well. Be sure to subscribe to the pod so you don't miss an episode. We also got our projections episode out, and our waiver episode has dropped as well. We'll be back on the Action Network podcast with Jill Gallant for the touchdown show on Thursday, and we're going to start including Thursday Night Football in that one going forward, so you have a touchdown pick for every single team on the slate. Find all of our fantasy projections over at fantasylabs.com. And don't forget, you can sign up for Action Pro to get instant notifications when Action Network experts like Sean, Nick Giffen, Jill make their bets. Sean is on X at @_oddsmaker. I'm at Chris Raybon. We're at those same handles on the free award-winning Action Network app. Shouts to Ryan Miller. Let's get this money.